Say hello and welcome to the show. It's me, John Park, and it is time for another JP's product pick of the week. Here we are. I want to say thank you to everyone for stopping by over in the YouTube chat and in our Discord chat. If you are somewhere else and you're wondering where the chatting is, head to our Discord. You can go to adafruit.it/Discord and you'll get an instant invite and you can join in on the live broadcast chat channel. So hello, Mike P., Rich Sad, Todd Bott, Zarnlin, OK, you're on, Jim Hendrickson, Scotty Beam Me Up, I never get that name right, and over on YouTube we've got Tackle the World and Antonina Makarova. Welcome. And there's probably others, and I'm sorry if I didn't call you out, but thanks for coming by. If you want to head over to the page where this week's product pick lives, head right there. You can go to this QR code. You can go to this URL. You will see that this very show is happening in a little window inside of the product page. And the reason you'll want to be there is for the huge discount that's available right now during the live stream only. That discount just dematerializes after the live stream. So you want to fill up your cart with good stuff and get some of this week's product pick if it's something you like. I'm not going to force anyone. But if it's something you like, you're going to like getting it at half off. So usually what I like to do is go and check out the new product pick video that Limor did for the product pick. There wasn't one for this. This was a revision of a board, and I don't think there ever was an original. I couldn't find it, and I asked around, and it just doesn't appear to exist. So I'm going to describe the product pick to you myself, but we'll go in a weird order because what I'm going to do is look in my little mystery box here and reveal the product pick, which is one of my favorite little USB chargers for LiPo batteries. This is it right here. It is the USB LiPo Li-Poly lithium-ion battery charger. So this is what you need if you want to charge up these types of batteries, right? So we've got a lot of different little batteries, especially some of these bigger ones. You might want a dedicated charger. Some of them you can charge with something like a Feather that has a charging circuit. But for other battery projects, you need some way to charge these up. And this one is terrific. It can charge at up to 1 amp. Usually I think it defaults at 500 milliamp charge rate. And one of the great things about this is that it has the, let me get the number on it right. What's the, yeah, it's the microchip MCP 73833 charging management chip on there. And what that means is that it charges in 3 stages. It does a preconditioning, it does a fast charge, and then it does a trickle charge. So this is a nice sophisticated charger. And it has some pretty great features too. So you'll notice we have these JST connectors at the bottom so you can plug in your battery right down here. So that's the battery you're planning to charge. It has a mini USB, which is actually, I love these. I don't know why we ever went to micro. Of course, C is terrific too, but here is mini USB, which is bigger than micro, as you can imagine, and easier to plug it in the right way the first time. So you see here, we can charge from USB there. It tells us that we have power with a little red LED here. And then there's this indicator that is yellow right now that tells me this is charging. And then when it gets to a full charge and it's just doing the trickle, that LED turns off and we instead get the done or green LED to light up. Now we also have some other extra cool features on here. There's a load JST connector, so you can plug this into the thing that you want to control. So this can act as sort of an inline charger and power supply, almost like a little uninterruptible power supply, a little UPS. So we can plug something in. It will run off of, I think it's whichever is greater, if it's the USB or the battery. But when you unplug USB, you're still, the load is still running. So this is a nice way to build a type of device that allows you to just plug it in, charge it when you need to, and then unplug and be on the go. Now for connecting up to devices, you can use this load JST, but you can also use some of the breakouts that we have here. In fact, let me get a little little closer to the board and refocus. Oh, I passed it. Pretty good right there. Yeah, looks good. So let me find a little something to point with here. So you'll see here on the left side we have breakouts for the load. So you can plug in one of these little connectors that comes with it. We have a little JST cable. In fact, if I show you a little product photo here, you'll see that's what comes with it. So you can plug in that JST connector cable to those load breakouts. We also have breakouts for the status LEDs, which I'll show you. Those are low by default, so you'll hook up the cathode side of an LED to each of those. It's the charge and the done, and then to power, which I would use this plus on the DC in side of it. And then we have a battery connector too. So if you have a battery that you want to have permanently in a project and you don't feel like connecting it in through this JST, if you want to cut wires and solder it in, you could use that as well. It's pretty nice and compact, and you can imagine, depending on the type of battery you're using, you can make a little holder for it or use some double stick foam tape to connect things up. So something like this could end up being the little package that you have to plug and play with. Now let me show you a little demo of one in action. So here is one where I've soldered on the connector for load, so I can charge something up, or power something rather. So here I have a Circuit Playground Express, and you'll see if I plug a battery in over here. Let me zoom out just a bit. I don't trust the autofocus, so I've got to refocus that. There we go. So if I have battery plugged in, you'll see that immediately powers up the device. So I have a Circuit Playground Express running over here. Now if I want to start charging this, I can just plug in and it won't interrupt anything. You can see the power still running over here. There's no hiccups there. And now we are driving this either off of available battery power or over the USB. It's never gonna turn that device off. And then on this one, I've actually added some headers just to make it easy to play around with external LED. So let's unplug this for a second. So you'll see here I've got a funny little sort of circuit sculpture of a couple of LEDs and a resistor running to that positive DC power. And so you can see here I've now extended essentially the charge LED and the done LED. I think I have a battery that might be close to fully charged, so we should see this one. Oh, what have I done? Oh, it's struggling. I think that battery is actually a little loose. Okay, you can see that one go to done. So it's now in trickle charge mode. The little green LED there, as well as my extended LED there, is letting me know. And the reason you might do this is if you have mounted this inside of a case for a sort of semi-permanent installation, then you might want to know on the outside if you have completed your charge or not, and then you can unplug and be on the go. So let's see, let's head on over to the product page here to check it out. And these are normally $12.50. Let's reload. We are now at $6.25, maximum 10 per customer. You don't need a coupon code or anything. You can just head right here, throw it in your cart, off you go. Remember, get those before the show is done, because then the price will return to normal. By the way, someone noticed, C. Grover noticed that I didn't have any yellow LEDs, so I put some Kapton tape over a white LED to make yellow. It gave me that nice amber. Thanks for noticing. I love amber LEDs. They're the best LEDs. So here you can see this is the product page. It talks about some of the information, specifications for this. So yeah, it's a 500 milliamp charge current, which is adjustable using, where'd it go here? Let's unplug one of these. Using the little slot there we have, you can plug in you can solder in an LED. I think it's a 2K, resistor. You can plug in a resistor there. I think it's 2K by default. If you plug in a 1K resistor, then it will allow up to the full amp. And then if you put in bigger resistors, you can drop it down to 100 milliamps at the bottom end. And the reason you'd want to do that is if you go up to a higher charging current on a battery that allows it. So check the battery stats, and it's best to use batteries from Adafruit for this, or know really well that you're getting the same kind, because some, especially ones you'll buy on Amazon, may have the polarity reversed on that little JST connector, and you don't want to use those. That can be bad. But if you look at our batteries, you will see some will say that they have a maximum charge current of, let's say, 1200 milliamps, and that's fine to go up to the full 1 amp on this. Some will say that they require lower, and then you probably want to leave it alone. As you go up to higher charge currents, you may reduce the life of the battery, but of course you're charging it faster. So this one here, for example, this is a 2000 milliamp hour battery. I think you can charge this in about 4 hours with a 500 milliamp current, so you could reduce that. I don't know if it scales linearly. I don't know if it goes in half if you go up to the 1 amp. But when it gets to that fast charge portion of it, it'll be dumping more power into it. Let's see, it also mentions the different connectors you have. There's also support for a thermistor. So we just have a resistor soldered in there right now. But if you had either a battery that had a thermistor to measure temperature built into it and a separate wire, you could plug that in. Or you could potentially run an external thermistor onto your battery to allow it to monitor temperature. And I believe it in the chip data sheet, which we'll take a look at, it'll let you know at what temperature it will shut it down. Let's see, that's about it. Yeah, so then if we click on this little data sheet, EagleCAD PCB files fritzing objects here in the tutorial, you can then click on the data sheet and you'll see here, this is the microchip MCP 73833, and they mention the typical applications. You'll find this chip inside of cell phones, cameras, Bluetooth headsets, USB chargers, and so on. So it's a whole management chip. There's no microcontroller on here other than this chip itself. This chip does all of the management of the charging, and it's a good one. So let's see. Any questions over in our Discord? Where did my... have I lost my Discord window? I have. There you are. Let me bring that up. Let's see. I have lots of problems with the connectors on LiPo batteries, says Rich Sad. Yeah, so you could potentially, depending on the type of thing you're doing, you could say the heck with it with these, cut that one at a time, don't bridge that, and solder those into the battery pins on the board there, so you're not dealing with that. You also make things a little more compact then, depending on what you're trying to build this into. Let's see. Yeah, it's an early product, is it 259? I think that's right. Yeah, 259. So this is version 1.2. So there was a version 1.0 that was discontinued. This was revised. So this one goes back a ways. I'm not sure when the 1.2 came out, actually. That could be part of the problem why I couldn't find a new video. Let's see. Any limits on the incoming power pads? I believe 6 volts is the maximum. Yeah, it's designed for essentially the 5 volts of USB, but it can be a little higher. So I believe the limit on this is the 6 volts, which is, I think, indicated in the pinout of the product page as well as here on the data sheet. So you can check there and see what the maximum is. Yeah, 7 volts is the maximum on the chip. That may be a little lower, or we might just be helping you be cautious about it here. So yes, but it is designed for USB as the incoming. Thank you for the question, Dave Smith. All right, well, I think that's going to do it. This is my favorite little charger for keeping these types of batteries going. I have a couple of them around the workshop. I keep batteries plugged into them, and they are also great for integrating into a project where you want to have power, recharging, mobile, USB to plug it in and keep the thing topped off, or just run it directly off of the USB when the battery is low. So there it is. That is the USB LiPo battery charger. And I put a hanger on in advance this time. How about that? All right, that's going to do it for this week. Thank you, everybody, so much. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.